What is going on, Empire Builders? It's Brian Downward here, and we're at episode number 50. Now, I'm so excited for this milestone episode because I've got something really exciting to share with you, and that's called the MRR Method. Now, what I want to do in this episode is teach you how to create and grow monthly recurring revenue into your consulting business. So MRR typically stands for monthly recurring revenue, but I put a different twist on it. I broke down this system into 3 separate steps. Let's talk about them right now. So, M stands for mission. What do you do? Who do you serve? How do you serve them? Why do you even do it? Are you doing it in the right ways? This is so important, and so many of us skip this and go right into revenue that we don't even know how to get our business going. So I want to talk about that. It's really important. The next step is revenue. How do you actually get clients in the door? How do you do that consistently? How do you close sales without being a scumbag? And then lastly, results. How do you keep clients? How do you use the results that you've got for clients to get new clients? How do you scale your business? We're going to talk about that in the results section. Now, I'm really excited to share this methodology with you because I think information, content, all that stuff is great. It has its place and it has its time, but you need a system. You want something that you can follow A to Z and get an outcome. I've got a lot of great content that teaches this, but I wanted to package it in a way that anyone could follow who wants to start and grow a consulting business. So let's get into it, because even if you're in a place where you have a consulting business, I know this is really going to benefit you. So let's break it down. Each of these has 3 sections. Now, I apologize in advance if my lines aren't perfectly straight. So under mission, it's broken down 3 things. I apologize for my terrible handwriting, but I'm going to break it down for you, so don't worry. First thing we have under mission is mindset. Before you can help anyone else, you need to get your own mind right. I'm going to talk about how you can do that. Then you need an audience. Who do you actually serve? Who are they? Where do they hang out? All of those things are important. And then offer. What are you actually giving to them? And not just the steps A through B or C, whatever that is. What's the outcome? What are the benefits that your clients will see and that you want for them? So let's break it down. Mindset. So many of us go into this whole thing with the mindset that we need to chase clients, that we need to be worthy of someone's business. But I really want you to flip that around. If you have any type of creative, analytical, marketing skill, that's extremely valuable. Like, what you have, a lot of people don't. And there are businesses out there who are willing to pay you good money for those skills. So you really just need to get out of your own head that you're a person who's not worthy of charging a lot of money, or that you can't get people results, because you can. And I don't want you to a negative self-talk to keep you from ever getting started or really taking significant action in your business. So really, you just first need to understand what you do is valuable. People are willing to pay you for that, so it's your obligation to go find those people and to help them, so you can not only help them grow, but earn money. And not just any money, earn money that actually gives you a profitable business and not just scraps by hoping for the next client. And I'm going to show you how to make sure you can guarantee that in these next couple of sections. So after you've got your head on straight, after you get a deeper understanding of what you can do, what the value you can bring is, start to figure out your audience. And really, your audience is going to come at the intersection between what you know right now, like who you have connections with, what you like, what you're passionate about, and what makes money. And really, when you can find something at that intersection, you're going to be a happy camper, because you can get paid to do something in work in an industry you actually love. Now, I will say this, when you're starting out, or maybe you've been doing this for a while, but you don't have a niche or audience carved out just yet, make sure you're doing this, because when you've identified a specific niche that you serve, it becomes so much easier to become the go-to person in that space because you've defined it, you've carved out your own niche, and it becomes far easier for people to refer you. So when you meet someone and say, I help patio furniture stores get more leads, a light bulb might go off in their head, oh, I know the perfect person. I know a patio furniture store, or I know a chiropractor or a gym. So making sure you're defining that audience early is important because it helps you, again, carve out your own little space. But I will say this, I get it. If you're just starting out, you need to bring on clients and you need money in the door. Be open to where your opportunities come from. I never thought that I would be working so closely in the patio furniture space, but that's where I found my opportunities. So define your audience early, but don't let that keep you from taking on new things and opening potential new doors that might lead to something great. It also comes down to making sure you're picking the right clients. Even if you've picked a solid niche, there's all types of shapes and sizes of clients you want to help. And remember this, winners win more. If you're going after small businesses that can't afford your services or don't receive any real value out of what you can do, it's going to be really hard to earn enough money or keep those clients around long enough to make that monthly recurring revenue. So make sure you're picking the right clients in your niche once you've identified that. Now, your offer. What are you actually going to do for these people? And again, it's not about the tactical stuff. It's not about Facebook ads or YouTube ads or the monkey spinning a sign on the corner. It's about outcomes. What are the benefits and outcomes that your audience wants? And you'll start to get a deeper understanding of that when you're doing your research here. If you're doing your research right in the audience, figuring out who they are and what they want, this will feed into your offer because it'll help you understand where you can provide value. Now, what I always recommend to my students and members of my community is to make sure you start to productize your offer. Figure out how you can create systems around how you deliver that. Make sure that it can be repeatable so that way when you bring on new clients, you're not customizing each project. You have a system you can put them through that not only gets it done quicker for you, but also gets them results even quicker. And we're going to talk about that more in this section. So, good so far? Mission. Get your mind right, figure out who you serve, and how you're going to serve them. Let's talk about the fun part, revenue. How you actually bring in clients and money into your consulting business and increase your monthly recurring revenue. So this part is broken up into 3 sections. Quick wins, sales, and lead gen. Now, always with any of my clients, students, anyone that I work with, I always ask and try and help them uncover their low-hanging fruit. In so many cases, you've got opportunities right underneath your nose that if you just know where the right place to look for them are, then you'll be able to take advantage of them and find your first clients. We're going to go over some lead generation strategies and ways that you can put yourself out in front of more of the right people, but these quick wins are going to get you those clients quicker and faster than what we're going to talk about here, okay? So the first place to look for your quick wins are current and past clients. Once you've started to develop an offer and you have an understanding of what it's worth, how much value it brings to your audience, you can start to go to your past and current clients, have those conversations with them and uncover, is this something that can help them? We're going to talk about how you do that in the sales section, but I just want to say that your quickest money and quickest wins are going to come from past and current clients. So what if you don't have any past or current clients? I love what Dan Henry recommends. You can post to your social media profiles, specifically Facebook and LinkedIn, maybe Instagram, depending on who you have following you or who you're connected to. You essentially post sharing with the world that you're going to get started doing marketing. You can tell them what you're going to be doing, who you're going to do it for, and ask if people, your friends, know anybody that they can refer you to. It's really simple. You literally just post saying, hey, I'm going to start doing marketing for gyms. Do you know anyone? I'm willing to do it for free for a week to help them out and get some experience under my belt. It's a really, really quick and effective way. People have found a lot of clients doing this. Now, taking that a step further, another way to get a quick win is to make a list of the 50 people you're closest to. And then next to each of their names, write down whether or not they could possibly be a good client, or maybe they're a good fit for your offer, or if there's someone who can refer you. And now, as you go through this list, if people don't fall under either of those two categories, possible client or referral source, that's okay. Take them off the list and add someone else who is. Your goal is to use that list to find your first or next retainer clients. People want to work with the people that they know, like, and trust. So when you can use your personal network to get these types of introductions, it's game changing. Now, let's talk about sales. Now, in my process, sales comes before lead gen. That's because here in the quick win section, these people, they're not going to have their guards up as much. They're a warm referral, a warm connection that you have. So they're not going to hold your feet to the fire, so to speak, and assume that you're going to try and pitch them or sell them anything. This is really where you can get some quick wins before you have to feel nervous about going and pitching someone who you don't know. So let's talk about that. If you're afraid of selling and you don't like the idea of having to pitch, I've got something you're going to love. You don't have to pitch. You never should pitch. The second you pitch, you've already lost. Your goal is to help people realize that they need you instead of trying to convince them. If you try and convince someone that they need what you're selling, you're going to be on the hook to prove to them that it works, and they're going to get pissed when it doesn't work. That's why you simply want to use questions. Figure out where they are, where they want to be, what's the gap in between those two places, and how you can build that bridge for them. The bridge is your offer. So you don't share the offer, you don't pitch them anything until you get to a point where they've identified through the questions you're asking them, hey, I do have this problem, this is where I want to go, I think you're the right person to help me do that. So make sure when you're pitching people, you're selling, you go to a place where you're asking questions instead of trying to just pitch them and get their money, because the latter hardly ever works. It would be like picking up the phone, cold calling someone during the middle of dinner and thinking that they're about to give you money instead of telling you to fuck off. So be really, really careful with how you approach the sales process. It's going to make your life a lot easier when you do it the way I just mentioned. Now, in terms of lead gen, once you've got your sales skills polished up, you want to fill your funnel. You want to get in front of people, new opportunities. We talked about some ways in quick wins, but let's go into a few more details here. My favorite way when you're just starting out is to go meet people face to face. Get out the Meetup app on your phone, go to their website, find where local businesses are meeting, go show your face there. Better yet, once you're doing your research here in the audience phase, identify where your audience spends time, which conferences they go to, which events they go to, and make an effort to go put yourself in a situation where you can go be in the same room as them, because that fast tracks relationships and opportunities like no other. Got it, guys? Cool. Let's talk about another one. My second favorite way is through strategic partnerships. This is basically where you're going to identify someone who has the audience you want, and you either team up with them to service that audience. So it could be like an agency or another consultant who has an overflow of clients, or they have clients who has a need that you can fill that they can't, or someone with an audience that you might produce some content for. So for example, there's a manufacturer who makes patio furniture that I've teamed up with in the past. They have hundreds of retailers across the country. So I produced a video just for their retailers, and they once a year will send it out to their retailers for me. This has gotten me tons of new business because I'm leveraging the relationship they already have with these people and having them come to me through creating valuable content. Now, the last way you can do this is through relationship marketing. This takes a little bit longer, but can be really effective if you have the patience and know the nuances that go along with it. Now, you might think this is cold outreach, but essentially what you're doing is identifying people who have a need and some common ground between you two. So maybe you're connected on LinkedIn, maybe you are in a Facebook group together, maybe you took a course together and you're in the same course group, maybe you met them offline. It doesn't really matter. The point is you want to go tap them on the shoulder. Say, hey, I noticed that you have this problem because we're in this group together. Would you mind if I shared something with you? And you let them come to you. Here's where you can start to now maybe share some feedback on things they could do to improve. Maybe you're sharing some relevant content, but you are building a relationship by identifying the person based on their needs, based on who they are, what they possibly want to do, and then getting to understand them. Now, this might feel like cold outreach, but cold outreach is really where you're just hitting up anyone on a giant list of random people and hoping that they'll do business with you. This is very methodical, where you're identifying them, making sure they meet certain attributes of the people you want to work with, and then tapping them on the shoulder so they come to you instead of you trying to pursue them. Great. Now, let's talk about results. This is the part where you're going to actually start to keep clients and then use the things that you do for them, the work you get, the results you get, to bring new clients in the door. Let's talk about it. The first step in results is fulfillment. How do you actually fulfill the work for the client, get them results? There's two ways to go about this. You can do it yourself, or you can hire it out to subcontractors and other professionals. Now, I typically recommend to people that you do it yourself at first. If you want to be a pro, if you want to be the expert in your field and be the go-to person, actually have an understanding of how this stuff works. But after you start to feel like you've got a couple of clients, you've got traction, you understand how it works, you can start to sub that out. Go to websites like FreeUp or Upwork and identify people who have the skill sets and are willing to get paid less than what you would. And what you do is you have these margins built into your projects. So maybe you take on a $5,000 project, you hire someone online, pay them $500 or $1,000 to do a lot of the busy work. So there's a lot of different ways and combinations you could go through with this, but essentially you need to make sure that you're doing your best work for the clients and getting them the promised results. The things that you talked about here in your offer, you need to make sure that you're delivering that. That is how you're going to keep that client month after month and really increase your monthly recurring revenue. Now, something else I'll mention here too is when you have a new client, you want to onboard them. And essentially that's just the process of setting appropriate expectations in your timelines, making sure you have everything you need and that the client knows exactly what's going to happen next. I've got a really great video on onboarding that we did in the past, so I'll make sure to link that up in the show notes below. But moving on past fulfillment, once you're starting to get results for clients, you're getting them the promised outcomes. You want to document and share that work with case studies, because case studies are like those before and after photos at the gym where someone they looked like crap in the past, but now they lost all that weight, they're ripped and they're looking good. People see that, they want that transformation. Now you as a consultant, a marketer, a freelancer, you're selling to businesses who want results, they want outcomes. And when you can show them that before and after, look what we did with my clients in the past. They were here, we took them there. The selling becomes so easy. You have people coming to you who point and say, that's what I want. I've got a blog post, a case study blog post on my site about patio furniture, how I made a lot of money for a client. That's earned me thousands and thousands of dollars because I had people who come to that and tell me, hey Brian, I want you to do that for my business. So make sure that you're documenting and sharing your work, because ultimately this, like I mentioned, your case studies will feed back into your sales and lead gen. Help you close deals, help you attract clients. Make sure you're doing this. And if you're not doing things that are maybe related to numbers and you do more creative work like websites, graphic design, things like that, build a portfolio. You can still have incredible before and after case studies, if you will, that show clients what you're capable of doing. And the last thing to consider in this process is systems. How do you actually start to set goals? How do you work backwards from those goals and then create routines in your life and your daily calendar and your schedule that move you closer to those goals? It really comes down to creating systems, identifying the things, the levers you can pull that get you results the quickest. What are the things that It's like that 80-20 rule. What's the 20% of things you're doing that are getting 80% of the results? Identify those things and create systems around that. And even more importantly than that is these systems you'll create can be, for hiring. They can be for lead gen. Will help you refine your offer and your audience. So it's so important to do this because it'll help you identify where you're providing the most value, how to streamline it, saves you money, and helps you possibly bring on help when you need it. And this is really what's going to help you scale up. This is what helps you get past 1, 2, 3 clients to really that 5K a month, 10K per month, monthly recurring revenue that I know a lot of us are aiming for. Now, I want to make sure you have a deep understanding of this, so what I did is I prepared a bonus PDF for you guys. And if you visit briandownard.com/MRR, I'll put that link in the show notes so you have it. I've got a PDF that I prepared for you, and it's all about this entire process in detail. I literally share everything. I'm not holding anything back, and I give you each detail, each step, and really what we talked about here today, but in so much more detail and depth. But either way, I appreciate you spending some time with me today out of your busy schedule. This has been such an exciting episode and milestone for this community. So I want to thank you for being here, for being subscribed and hanging out. And if you're new, I want to encourage you to like my page on Facebook or subscribe on YouTube so you can keep getting all the latest episodes and content. But again, guys, I am Brian Downard. This has been Laptop Empires, episode number 50. Make sure you grab that bonus PDF below the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.